Welcome everyone to today's webinar on Duet. My name is Andrew Lee. I run both marketing and alliances here at Jitterbit, and I'm excited to announce a new solution from the team at both Jitterbit and Endowance that is targeting Infor ERP customers. And I think Infor ERP customers, it's an interesting marketplace. This is a marketplace that really has been underserved and I think underappreciated. The folks from Infor at this point in time now have over 10 different ERP options. Some of the biggest names in ERP, whether that's Sightline, or now known as Cloud Suite Industrial, Lawson, which of course is now known as M3, Bond, which is now known as LN, Visual, SXE, and a whole host of other solutions are now being provided in a very vertical specific way by the team at Infor. And if we really look at what they've achieved within this market, they now have well over 40,000 customers that stretch across over 200 different countries. And all of these ERP customers are looking for the ability to connect those core ERP applications, their core accounting, supply, and distribution services to the rest of the world. Some of these solutions are cloud offerings, many of these solutions are on-premise offerings, and they really need that hybrid integration. So to be able to serve and satisfy this really underrepresented group of ERP that now represent probably one of the top 3 ERP markets out there, we've come together with the folks at Endowance to be able to provide a pre-built set of solutions that integrate the most common business practices between Infor and Salesforce.com. So that's exactly what we're going to go into today. Together with us, very excited to announce we have Rob Heidekamp. And Rob, you're CEO of Endowance. Please say hi to the team.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This is a great day, our introduction of Duet to the market. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to talk a little bit about what is this new solution. What is Duet? Most importantly, we're going to talk about the use cases. What are the business processes? What are the business benefits that we expect companies to be able to achieve when they use the new Duet offering? We're going to talk specifically about the Duet platform. How is this managed? How can you get Duet up and running? How can you customize to be specific to your processes? And then, of course, we're going to finish it off with a live Duet demonstration for everyone. And then we're going to open up for Q&A. And that's a good opportunity to let everybody know that, notice we're using the GoToWebinar control panel. So if you have any questions throughout the entire webinar, please go out to the GoToWebinar control panel, go to the questions box, and simply type in a question at any time, and we will promise to get to each and every question at the end. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. And Rob, it's been a pleasure to be working with your team now, and it's been many, many months. I think, gosh, we've been chatting for well over 10 to 12 months. We've been joint development in this for about 6 to 7 months. If you can give everybody an idea, who is Endowance? You guys have years and years of integration expertise, not only in Infor, but with Salesforce.com, but maybe you can introduce your team.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks, Andrew. So we were born in the cloud. We have started in 2007, and we're headquartered in the San Francisco Bay Area. We also cover the United States as well as Europe. So we have a European headquarters in Amsterdam to serve our European customers. Our independent customer satisfaction rating is fairly high. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's 9.48. So we're happy with that and want to continue that score. Over the years, we've implemented over 300 Salesforce projects, and a lot of them have an integration to an Infor integration, to an Infor ERP. And so over the years, we looked at integrations, and it made a lot of sense to actually go to the market with a cost-effective solution, and hence we have Duet as of today. So really, we've been doing the integrations quite for some time. We are Salesforce as well as an Infor partner, and we're basically filling a gap in the market to make sure that the integrations that are available in the market are cost effective and are for the masses. So really excited to do this today and share with you our new offering. So let's go into the details on who needs Duet and why Duet. So, of course, it's for Salesforce customers. You have an Infor ERP and you have a Salesforce CRM. A lot of times when we talk to customers, what the problems that we find out, the pain points that we hear is about, well, first of all, cost. Why do we have Duet? There's multiple integration solutions available in the market. They're all doing their job. They're all doing fine. But we did notice that in the markets that there's a lot of questions about the cost. People want the integration, they want it to work, but there's a cost issue, cost prohibitive. So what we did is we looked at a solution to actually make it more competitive. And so with that, we now have the Duet solution, and it makes it available to the masses. So it's cost efficient and it's really flexible. We chose Jitterbit as a platform. Jitterbit is known for its ease of use. The time to market with the Jitterbit solution is fairly quickly. It's literally, I mean, it's very flexible, and as a result, you can actually make changes, and it's pretty much available. So very flexible. And it also has the ability to connect Salesforce to multiple different systems. Pretty much any system that you want to connect to, you can connect to. So it's a real platform that actually meets a lot of business needs. And of course, it's also mentioned on the Gartner Magical Quadrant for its achievement. So for us, it's a perfect fit to what we want to achieve. So cost, yeah.
Let me ask you, you've got sales reps needing this critical information, and I'm assuming some of that critical information for the sales reps is information about inventory or shipping or orders. You know, what are some of the examples that you see that a sales rep needs within, say, the Salesforce Sales Cloud that's not available today? And, you know, what is that data that's in Infor that really makes them more effective out in the field?
Yeah. So what you currently see when we talk to customers, and we talk to a lot of the customers, their main challenge is when your rep is out in the field, they start talking to your customer. There's interactions, and currently what happens is that the rep has at best some sales-related data. There might be a quote available, there might be some details available, what happened in the past with the account, the activities, and that's about it. Now with the solution that we have now with Duet is the rep is in front of the customer. They may bring their iPad or their mobile device, I guess. Then the customer is asking a question and say something about, okay, what's my order status? I ordered this a couple of weeks ago. What's the status? Currently, the pain point is that the rep doesn't have the answer. So they will need to call the back office and tell the customer, I'll get back to you as soon as I have the answer. Meaning, they'll spend internal time with the back office people to figure out what the status is. That's a challenge, and that's a pain point that causes a lot of inefficiency in organizations. So from an efficiency perspective, the rep is going to be able to spend much more time on facing the customer, talk to the customer. So based on our experiences so far, when we talk to customers, the reps in general spend 1 to 2 hours per day on calling the back office. That's about 20% of their time. So that's quite a bit of efficiency loss there. That's a main point for our customers, that it's a pain point for them. Another issue that we see a lot of times is duplication of work. So the quote is in Salesforce. Then as soon as the quote is approved and the PO comes in from the customer, this information is sent over to the back office team. The back office team enters an order in the ERP, and there's first of all a challenge with people can make errors. There's nothing wrong with it, but it could happen. The second challenge that we also have is, why do you want to duplicate work where you can basically have a quote or an order from Salesforce go into your ERP? There's a lot of efficiency to be gained. So that's the other thing that we see. As far as quoting and approval processes, quotes and orders are always an interesting topic. Where do you quote? Where do you do an order? There's benefits to each, and mostly it's driven by our customers' requirements. So a quote can reside in a third-party app. We see a lot of customers actually quoting in Excel still. And you can have your quoting happening in your ERP. All of that makes it fairly interesting and challenging. How is that process going to go? meaning where do you quote, how does it flow into your back office, how do you recognize revenue as part of the quote to order. That's currently not very smooth. And with our solution that we are going to show you in a little bit, we're going to have that option. So we're going to streamline the process, streamline the quoting, as well as the approval process. So altogether, when you look at the pain points, quite a bit of pain points that customers have, and they can be now fixed. And ultimately, we're all doing the same thing. We're looking for driving revenue. What we're looking for is get companies more profitable. And for individual sales reps, of course, want to make sure that they exceed their quota. So the more business critical information we get them at their fingertips, the better they are armed with that information, and the better they can actually sell, the more they can sell. So that is ultimately what we are going to provide to customers. And so argument can be made, everybody needs it who has an Infor ERP, because we all want to get better at what we do and want to drive revenue. So that is who needs the Duet, and what is Duet.
Got it. Now, Rob, I know our teams have done a tremendous amount of technical work to really abstract away or simplify the complexities of this. But your team's been really good about really looking at what are the projected business benefits that an Infor customer can experience by using this solution. Why don't you go ahead and run through them?
Yeah, so as mentioned in the pain points, reps spend so much time, inefficient time, by calling the back office. It translates, based on the numbers that we've seen with customers, in at least a 15% revenue increase. As mentioned, if you spend more time with your customer, the chances that you sell more is much higher. So there is a correlation between spending that 15 to 20% time with your customers, resulting in a revenue increase of 15 to 20%. We have 15% here. That's a conservative number. I'm positive, and I know there's higher numbers to be gained here. It all depends on the efficiency gains that you will get between what your sales reps do and talk to the back office people about, and what the efficiency gains are going to be ultimately. The other thing, and this is a key point about Duet. Duet has been designed to be a low-cost, pervasive solution. We are going to supply this to the market, and we're looking for a lot of customers and for a low cost. Because of the architecture and the way it's working, the initial cost for implementation as well as the maintenance year over year is extremely low compared to other solutions. Part of that is because it's a managed service. So once we implement the solution is going to be available to you, and at that point it's going to be managed as a service in the cloud. So you don't have to have any IT staff on board from an integration perspective. We're going to keep it running for you. There's no skills required. Your IT team doesn't have to focus on it. We're going to manage it for you. So the argument is it's hassle-free, and it's going to help you focus more on your business. That's a key piece that we want to communicate about that. And as mentioned before, the face time with your customers, definitely a business benefit, and we see the revenue optimization definitely involved there. The last point that we want to make about the integration, the business benefits, is optimize internal communication. As mentioned, you have your inside sales, you have your back office teams. If we don't have them to communicate that much, they're all going to do a better job. They're going to be more efficient, generate more efficiency as a company, and so the back office team will do more with basically they have more time available instead of talking to the sales reps. Then the sales teams can be focused on their real deal and real job. So from a perspective of a business, the solution that you offer, it's going to drive revenue as part of and bottom and top line.
Perfect. Now you talk about architecture, Rob, and ultimately this is all built natively on the Harmony platform, and I think that's been really exciting getting the two teams together. Everybody who knows Jitterbit knows that everything here runs 100% on the Harmony cloud platform, and the benefit of that is that means that all the processes that the folks from Endowance have built in, all the best practices around quote to order, object synchronization, field service automation, is all being natively driven on top of the Harmony platform. And of course, that means that this is a global solution. So it runs in 6 different global data centers. So whether you're a customer in Europe, you're a customer in North America, a customer in Asia Pac, you're fully supported. Of course, all the global data centers are fully redundant, active backups. Of course, that means we're very proud of 99.9% uptime. Of course, we are now the new iPaaS MQ leader with Gartner, moving up into that quadrant faster than any other platform before. And what's really exciting about this solution is that Endowance is offering this solution as a managed service. So that means if customers choose, they can actually be able to get this up and running very, very quickly without having to deploy the software themselves, without having to configure the software themselves, without ever even having to worry about an upgrade. Endowance is actually able to provide this as a managed service. And of course, all of these solutions could even run as a native solution or Jitterpack on top of a native Harmony deployment. So it's a really solid technical answer that brings together the power of our data integration, our process orchestration, and our real-time API capabilities, but then encapsulates that all into best practices that we can share with the folks from the Infor marketplace. Rob, let me ask you, when we talk about this architecture, what was your experience in building out these solutions on Harmony?
Oh, it was very easy, meaning we have done so many integrations in the past, and that generally is taking a lot of time. It's fairly difficult to implement. The technology wasn't ready. The technology wasn't doing the same thing as what we can do with Jitterbit. So the ease of implementation and the connection, literally, we can connect Salesforce to an Infor ERP in a matter of hours. And so doesn't mean that everything is completely working while the data comes over. The point is that the data needs to be consolidated, but ultimately, technically, it's literally within hours we can connect.
And the options for an Infor customer before Duet was available, did the majority of these customers really have to code this themselves? I mean, what else is out there in the market?
Yeah, no, so Infor does have a product available, and it's working fine. There's just the complexity comes when you extend and want to extend additional objects. That takes a lot of time. And with Jitterbit, it's much easier to add an object to the mix and make it meet your business needs. Business needs a lot of times change. So an example would be if you have commissions in your ERP and you want to expose that in Salesforce, none of the solutions have that available out of the box. We don't either, but we can add it in a matter of days. And so it's fairly straightforward. It's very easy. It's flexible. So that's why we chose Jitterbit.
So really, it's a matter of custom code probably being number one. There are some solutions out there that sound like they're hardwired point-to-point connectors. And of course, this is a Jitterpack, which means it's a set of metadata, it's a definition that can be configured, and even if a customer wants, can be fully customized for the needs of their implementations.
Yep, exactly.
So let's take a peek at some of the processes and some of the solutions you guys have built out. The first one is WetBase. Maybe share with us, what are you trying to achieve with WetBase?
Yeah, so the WetBase is basically, so here's the question to the market that we asked. What is important to you? And so a lot of customers tell us they want to have order information. So we have a base product, it's called WetBase, and it does synchronize accounts, customers from your Infor ERP to Salesforce. It also sends the order line items over. This is a base product, and it's available as a free trial for 30 days, and people can then see how it works. They can understand the background and how it all functions. And if it makes sense for them and they want to expand on that, we can go to the next product level, and that has much more functionality. So the WetBase is literally trying to get to know the product a little better and move that into the Duet quote to order. This is a very highly requested feature from our customers. So the project that we've done over the years, a lot of customers asked us, quotes and orders, they are a lot of times in, ERPs, but it doesn't meet all of their business needs. So because of the fact that I said before, the customers have quotes and orders in third-party products, in Salesforce or in ERP, what we identified as they need to go bi-directional. So accounts and contacts go bi-directional between your Infor ERP and Salesforce. Products, because the item master is your ERP, you want that to be your master ERP, so that's all good. Now, historically, orders and quotes have gone coming from your ERP. What we now offer is bi-directional sync, so it gives your organization much more flexibility. Quote gets created in Salesforce or in ERP, or it gets created in Salesforce or in ERP. Either way, it's going to synchronize to both systems, so they're always in sync. What we see a lot of times is, historically, when the quote didn't come over, people were just not having visibility to it. So think about it this way. An estimate was created in your ERP, didn't come over, the sales rep didn't know about it. Well, now you can say, sales rep, create your own quote. It's going to go into your ERP, and your reps take it from there, your back office people, and they create the order from there, and it's all good. Or you can say, I'm going to have the order created in Salesforce. I don't want quotes. So lots of flexibility. The point of what you're trying to do here is automate the quote to order process and give it the most flexibility, so a lot of people, a lot of companies can take advantage of it. On top of it, we have, of course, the shipments, returns, accounts receivables, invoices. That's always an interesting one. Think about it this way. You have a shipment, it's coming over from your ERP. The rep's going to have access to it. They're going to see the shipment and the ship line items. So shipment line items. If the customer wants to understand what the status is and what's included in the shipment, the rep can actually show it to the customer as they're meeting. Same with returns. So ultimately, your reps have a lot of more business critical data available, and they can actually do a much better job at what they already do. So with this, we're automating that process. We're bridging the gap, traditional gap between Infor ERPs or ERPs in general and Salesforce, with giving your reps and your teams exactly data they need. And what's important to mention here as well, it's close to real time. So you'll see it in a little bit in the demo. When the rep is meeting with the customer and an order gets changed or a shipment gets changed, something changed in the status, it's real-time available. So the rep, as they speak to the customer, the order is now suddenly changed on status, or shipment now is shipped. So very critical for them. And so that's really the benefit of the quote-to-order process right now.
Yeah, Rob, I'll tell you, this is impressive. We've seen hundreds of examples of quote-to-cash, between Salesforce.com and, dozens and dozens of ERPs. Obviously, we've seen lots of SAP and Microsoft and Oracle. But this is one of the most comprehensive solutions that I've seen. You noticed the whole bidirectional is absolutely crucial as you orchestrate that quote-to-cash process. And correctly, you guys leveraged our API management solution to be able to deliver that event-based or real-time integration as it was needed. So, again, credit to your team for really building out a solution where, the idea is here you've probably done 70, 80, 90% of all the work based on your best practices and your experience in the Infor ecosystem. And then it's just a matter of configuring this and tailoring it for each customer to bring them out to market very quickly. Now, the third one that you're bringing out is field service, and I'll tell you, field service is really hot, especially in the Salesforce ecosystem now. More and more people are starting to realize, especially in these manufacturing verticals, that being able to proactively service assets that are out in the field are crucial, and you've actually built out a tailored solution for field service for Infor customers as well.
That's right, yes. So in this case, we have a solution that we anticipate to work like this. The process that generally we see, customers call in and they have a problem with the product, whether it's a complaint, whether they have a question, whether there's a warranty. Any type of call that comes in generally gets captured by Salesforce, so as a case. Now, after that, there's a whole process that happens, meaning this is only the start. So depending on the case that comes in, different things happen. If it's a product issue, maybe it would go to a quality team. If it's a warranty issue, it goes to the ERP team, to the back office service team. So what we are built here is the case comes in, the customer is resurfaced, the information goes into Infor ERP. Infor ERP is going to basically start a process where it's warranty. So now we need to figure out what's the product that the customer has, what's the complaint. Now the parts need to be ordered. The whole process in the back office is totally disconnected from the front. And so what this solution will do is give the people that actually log the case, they create the case, the information goes to the back office, the people have all the information that needs to be captured to do the work that they need to do, so scheduling, ordering, all that, and everybody has visibility, including the sales rep who actually owns the account. So what it does from that perspective is the sales rep going to the customer. Right now, they may not have insight into a warranty issue. There might be some product defects, product issues. The rep walks in and he or she is being told, yeah, I don't want to talk to you because your product is broken. I'm not going to buy anything from you until you fix it. So some red face moments. With this solution, that's not going to happen. The rep has instant access, whether that's mobile, whether that's just on the laptop. They will not get blindsided. So they have the latest status. So if there's a product that they provide to the customer and it's broken, you don't want to go talk to the customer about selling. You want to talk to the customer about how can I help you fix it. Very different approach, and so it gives the rep much better information to talk to the customer for the things that they are interested in. So whether it's a sale, whether that's a product issue. So a lot of more visibility across the company.
Very impressive. So when we look at these solutions, obviously these solutions are purpose-built for Infor ERP, and of course we have the base, the quote-to-cash, and the field service. But one of the benefits of building this out on the Harmony platform is that not only can you use just the pre-built solutions, but you're able to integrate to any of the dozens and dozens of applications that Infor has acquired and provides through their portfolios. And of course, they've got, a dozen ERPs, but they also have CRM, they have project lifecycle management, they've got HR applications. And so we've made sure to be able to allow anybody using these solutions to be able to attach to anything within the Infor portfolio, and perhaps more important, be able to connect to all the hundreds and the thousands of other business applications and services that are available. Because it's in Harmony, that means that we can essentially connect your company, your Infor solutions, to anything that's using open integration standards. And of course, the most common we see is SOAP, REST, ODBC, JDBC, and of course, for those manufacturers and retailers, we even support things like EDI. So just making clear that this is both, it's kind of a best of both worlds, if you will. It provides you the power, the speed of pre-built solutions that can get up and running very quickly with the expertise of the folks from Endowance, but also it offers you an open and customizable solution that you can grow into over time. Now, Rob, I understand, even though this is a brand new solution, you guys have been working real hard over the last few weeks and months and actually have signed several customers to be using this. I guess the first one is Ranch Hand. Maybe you can share with us who is Ranch Hand and what are they using this for?
Yeah, so Ranch Hand is a manufacturer of car parts, and they're out of Texas. They decided to go with Duet. First of all, well, they needed an integration between their Sightline and Salesforce, and so there were a couple of options. Why they chose Duet is the cost-effective solution. So as said before, we want this to be pervasive, we want this to be cost-effective, and we want this to be available for everybody. So it doesn't matter how big or small your budget is on your ERP integration or solution. We want this to make this work cost-effective. So their cost was the big question. Also, the hassle-free managed service, their IT team, they don't want to take on an integration solution. They don't want to do it. They want to focus on what's really important to them. And so the fact that we now offer this as a managed service was a big differentiator for them to choose it. And of course, they were looking to streamline their processes. They have quite a bit of challenges with their processes. And with this, they're going to exactly achieve what we mentioned in the projected benefits. So they're looking for more revenue, more streamlined solution, no headache from an IT perspective, for low cost. So ultimately, they're looking for optimizing that and focus on the customers. So as a result, increase customer satisfaction. That's really been their goal, and we're marching towards that.
Yeah, so Rob, I think you mentioned a great point about this, is that for the first time, customers have the option not just to run this natively on their own Harmony instance, but you guys are providing this as a managed service. Dive down a little bit more. What are some of the benefits? How does a managed service really deliver, hassle-free to customers? What does it really entail?
So in short, it's really simple. Endowance is responsible for making this, continue this to work. So if something were to happen, we will keep it working. So there's no need for your IT staff to spend days and nights trying to figure out why data doesn't come over. That's critical to your business. So we're the point of contact. We're going to know before you're going to know as a customer that data doesn't come over. So the bottom line for us is there's no downtime, there's no data delays, and if they are, we'll fix them before you'll see it. So that means you're not going to have any idea that things might happen. It continues to work. So from your perspective, it's going to be hassle-free, no involvement required. We're going to know before you know things may not come over, and you're not even going to notice it. So we're your point of contact. We're going to support this 24/7. There's no need for anybody on the IT team to actually reach out. If you do, of course, that is always possible, so we're always available to answer any questions. Bottom line is we're here to take care of the integration, and you focus on your main business.
Yeah, that's exciting. It sounds like you guys take care of all the design, the deploy, customizing and configuring together with the customer around their requirements, and really managing that service for them, and just taking that whole headache out of building out this integration. And of course, you do it with years and years of Infor ERP integration experience. So with that, let's go ahead and get to my favorite part of it. Let's move into the live demo. And let me go ahead and move controls over to you, Rob. And I think you're going to show us a live demo of integrating Salesforce to Infor ERP. And is this synchronization? Is it the base model? Is it quote to cash? What are you going to show today?
You'll see quote to cash. And what I'm going to do is we're going to start on the accounts. So what happens in the solution, so what you currently see is Salesforce account screen. This is standard Salesforce at the top. So standard account, so you have the details, all the standard information that you need to run your business. There's some information on where the integration data is coming from. And if you scroll down, what you'll see is there's going to be all the related lists that you generally see in Salesforce. What you can't even tell is that it either came from ERP or it came from Salesforce, and it doesn't matter, right? The end user shouldn't be interested in it. All they need to know is see the information. So you have build to information that comes straight from ERP. You have ship to's and orders. So if you, for example, click in the order, and let's click on order 119, what you'll see is a lot of the detail that comes from your ERP, you see it here. So the order ID, the customer it's for, there's the salesperson, and then the details on the order. The one thing that you want to see here is the status, it's open. And we'll get back to that very shortly. If you scroll down, what will happen is you'll see the order line items. So there's, in this case, 3 order line items. I can click on that, and I can see the details. What's the order line item for? What's the extended amount? What's the PO associated? What's the product? So all of this information is now available at the fingertips. That's a huge difference from what happened before. So this is data coming from ERP in real time. So when something happens in the back office, you will see that. And so this, in this case, its status is open, and we'll get to this a little later. In a couple of minutes, we'll be back here. When I continue to go down, you see shipments. And so a shipment here is same thing. You have the information, and depending on the information that you have in your ERP that you want to show in Salesforce to your sales reps, that can be mapped. You can say, well, I have a lot of information. I don't want everything to be there. But you can have, for example, a carrier code here. And a carrier code, you could have the carrier name, and based on the needs, you can actually see the status on it. So you would click on, let's say, USPS or UPS. It's going to bring you to the website. and it's going to give you the latest and the greatest on the shipment. It could be stuck somewhere in a warehouse, it could be in transit. All of that information could be here. Same here on the lines, shipment lines. You will see all the details around the shipment line. So the bottom line of all this is there's a wealth of information that doesn't exist in the sales applications in most of the cases. And what you'll see now is the wealth of that information is going to be there. The other thing that we always find interesting is the conversation about invoices. The invoices are some things that can be exposed in Salesforce. Now, a lot of our customers ask the question, so why do we want that? Well, your rep can now talk to the customer. So when they meet the customer, they can talk about orders, shipments, information. And then they can say, by the way, your invoice is 30 days late. Can you please pay? They probably have a trusted relationship with their customer. So why would you not ask that question? And so that's always an interesting one. And of course, receivables, that's another one. We have that included in the product, just because we think it's important that that information can be shared with the customer if needed. And so a lot of detail coming from your ERP. The other thing that you see here is returns, and then we go back into standard Salesforce objects. So bottom line, there's a ton of information available, and that information is now at their fingertips. You see this on the laptop right now. And the laptop is standard model, but you can of course have this on your mobile device. By the way, while I was going through the objects that you saw, the status has closed. So before we started, customer order had a status open. Somebody in the back office has updated it, and the order is now closed, and it's immediately going to be available. As you can see in the modified field on the right low bottom, it's 10:37 a.m. So it has just been updated. So it shows you the value and the benefit of something happens in the back office. The reps are talking to the customer. As they talk to the customer, things change. Those changes can now be communicated to the customer. What that means is the efficiencies and the benefits we talked about, be more proactive, have the answer to your customer instantly versus waiting a couple of days. And it's going to get you all the efficiency gains that we talked about. So all of this information is now at their fingertips, and I can't stress this enough. A lot of reps just don't have that information. As a result, they're less efficient. I think this is a major change in the market.
Yeah, Rob, I think you bring up a great point. You know, the idea of sending out sales reps, and the only thing that we arm them with is, here are your contacts, here's some opportunities, here's some account information, but you're not giving them the critical information about their customers that the customers truly care about, which is, here are your orders, the status of your order, where the order has actually been shipped. That's the kind of stuff that really drives relationships and efficiency through the sales process. You know, it never fails to surprise me that when I look at these integrations and we look at the information that a sales rep actually uses on a day-to-day basis, often as much as 2/3 to 80% of all the data that he's getting isn't coming from inside Salesforce, it's actually coming from external systems like Infor. So I think you guys have done a great job of providing that all in a single place.
Yeah, well, but you know what, the most important thing is that technology allows it to work this way. And so for us, it was a very important decision to make this work and provide us to market. We knew there's customers that need this. I mean, everybody needs it, basically, if you think about it. Nobody wants to say, I don't want to drive revenue. Everybody wants to drive revenue. This solution is going to give you that, and going to give your reps maximum opportunity to excel and exceed their quota.
Perfect. Hey, with that, let's go ahead and open it up to the audience. And I can already see a whole number of questions streaming in, so definitely appreciate that. Again, if you've got a question for today, go ahead and go up into WebEx. There's a little box that says questions. Go ahead and fill in your question. By the way, if you don't want to ask a public question that we read out in front of everybody, and you just have a personal project you want, you know, one of our integration architects to kind of have a one-on-one conversation with you, just simply say, you know, take offline, can I talk, you know, more about Infor integration, etc., and we will reach out to you after the webinar. But with that, let's go ahead and dive into a couple of these questions. The The first question is a good one, Rob. Does this leverage Infor Ion? Does this product enforce from Endowance?
No, it's owned by Infor. We do a lot of Infor's projects, and we'll continue to do that. There's no doubt about it. The technology is Ion based, so it's a middleware layer from Infor. And what we identified, and it was mentioned earlier, the cost of the solution is basically prohibitive for a lot of customers in the small and medium business. And so Inforce continues to exist. It works fine. We're offering a solution here that has more flexibility and is more cost effective.
Got it. And I think that fits right into our second question. How we customize the solution?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so how you can customize the solution is the solution that you offer is the template. And so with that, you're going to get those 15 objects we talked about. What you can do to add is basically have that, let's say, talk about the commission object. Let's have a commission object in your ERP. It comes into Salesforce. To add that is literally connect Jitterbit to that object, have some mappings done. Of course, there's the mapping to Salesforce. There might be some data things that need to be discussed and fixed. But ultimately, this could be done in hours. And basically, you can extend anything that you want. So anything in your ERP can go to Salesforce. The question is, do you want everything going into ERP from ERP to Salesforce? Answer is probably no, but you do have the opportunity to do it.
Got it. Now here's a question from Ashok, and I'm not positive exactly where you were going here, but does other ERP pick list include ECC 6.0? Now I'll take the shot at this. I think by ECC 6.0 you mean SAP ERP, and of course ECC is the flagship ERP from SAP. So I think what you're asking is, does the solution include connectivity to SAP integrations? And I'll take a shot at it, and Rob, you can jump in if I handle it incorrectly. But the bottom line is that these solutions are specific to Infor and Salesforce.com. So the most common ERPs, of course, here are going to be the various ERPs from Infor. However, if you wanted to integrate Infor ERP, Salesforce CRM to an SAP instance, of course, that's fully available. SAP is one of our core and primary ERPs. We've done hundreds of SAP integrations in the past. The Harmony solution provides probably the most sophisticated and modern SAP ECC connector in the solution. So it would be absolutely possible to connect, but it's not part of the core solutions that are out there. All right, here's a good one, Rob. I think we can always expect it. How much do these solutions cost?
Yeah, it's a favorite question. I'm sure everybody wants to hear about that. So what we offer this on is it starts at $10,000 per year, and so as a result, that's the bottom line. And depending on requirements, things will change, but we can work individually with the customers on pricing. But it starts at $10,000 per year. And it generally runs a couple of years, so contract terms, of course, can be discussed, but that's the price where it starts.
Perfect. Here we've got another one. I think people are really interested in Inforce, and I think earlier you explained, you can do this with custom code. There is a solution called Inforce that's available, I believe, directly from Infor, and you guys have experience with that. But the question is, does this replace Inforce from Endowance?
No, it does not. No. So as said before, we do so many integration projects between Infor ERP and Salesforce. The problem with the pricing that Inforce has is that you're basically cutting out customers that can't afford that cost, but they do want that integration. So Inforce is continued to be available in the market, but we're going to offer this to customers that need a lower cost solution and can't afford Inforce. Both technology will continue to work. This is just an additional offering to make sure that we bring this to the masses. As said before, everybody could benefit from them. There's no need to have this not available for smaller customers that have less revenue. They have the same challenges. They want to see the same data. Not fair that they don't have it. So with this solution, we're going to continue to offer this as well as Inforce. They both will work.
That's perfect, Rob. And I think if I understand what you're saying is you guys are going to provide integration using both the kind of traditional Inforce platform, but also the new Duet platform. And I think between the two of us, our goal is to provide something that's lower cost and technically even more capable than what Inforce delivers today. And the customer will have their option between the two.
Correct. Exactly.
Hey, here's another one, clearly coming from the Salesforce camp. So you talk about Sales Cloud. Will this also work together with Salesforce Service Cloud?
Yes. The type of cloud, Sales Cloud license, Service Cloud license, it doesn't matter. What we do generally see is that enterprise is going to be the platform of need or that you need because of the API requirements. So what we generally see is and minimum requirements, Sales Cloud or Service Cloud, unlimited with the enterprise solution, enterprise version, enterprise lightning.
And if I dive down there a little bit deeper, Rob, I'm assuming when we talk about field service, this includes field service solutions that are provided from Infor ERP, and does it also basically automate field service processes if you're using field service native solutions? And that could be solutions from the big leader out there, ServiceMax, or even I know that now Salesforce is now offering their own field service solution as well. Can you support kind of all three scenarios?
Yes, we can. It's a very open platform. Flexibility is there. Is all the functionality going to be available right now out of the box? Probably not, but that's something that can be added to the base to the connectors as we go. We're going to measure. We're going to continue to monitor the market, and if requirements show up in the integration that will impact the product, we'll make sure that it stays competitive and continues to actually meet the needs, which are always ever changing. So.
Well, perfect. Rob, I think that's probably a good note to wrap up on. Again, I want to thank you very much, not just for today's webinar, but you and your team have been probably one of the best teams that we have ever worked with. It is just amazing the level of depth of Infor ERP expertise that you guys have brought to bear with these new solutions. So I appreciate you guys joining the webinar and building out the new Duet offering in the market. Of course, this is available today. You can see we've already got customers that are up and running. For more information about this, go ahead and you can see the Endowance URL. That'll actually give you a free 30-day trial of that managed service that's very specific to Infor. You can always pop over to jitterbit.com, do a free 30-day trial of the overall platform as well. My recommendation is give us a holler, have somebody who is a Duet expert, have one of our integration architects walk you through. Of course, we offer kind of free trials, free proof of concepts. We're excited to meet up with people at Dreamforce. I think, Rob, maybe you might want to share. What are you guys doing at Dreamforce? I know we'll be together. You guys are going to be there in mass.
Yep. Yeah. So what will happen is that, yes, your teams and our teams will work very closely at Dreamforce. Everybody who is interested and wants to do something in 2016, we're going to have a promotional discount when you talk to us at Dreamforce, and we'll implement this with you for you with discount. So want to make sure that you understand that, and we're looking forward to meeting you at Dreamforce.
Perfect, Rob. And I know we're going to have this front and center at our booth. We'll be gold sponsors at Dreamforce. We'll have a number of different parties, customer events, partner events. Please reach out. We're happy to meet with each and every one of you guys. This will be one of our focus ERP solutions that we'll be demoing live probably every 30 minutes in the booth. This will be together with solutions around SAP, Workday, Siebel, Microsoft, Oracle, NetSuite. Again, if you need to connect Salesforce.com to any kind of back office solution, our goal is to be the #1 provider of that. I want to thank everybody who attended today. We had a great showing. It's good to be spending time with the Infor Marketplace. And again, on behalf of both Jitterbit and Endowance, we thank you for your time today and have a great rest of your workday. Thank you.